What is the blues scale? The answer is that it's a great way to take the minor pentatonic shape and create some tasty tension and release in your solos. Today I'll show you exactly how to make and play this scale shape, and then how to use it so you can use this killer scale anytime you want. By the way, if you're just getting started with soloing, make sure to download my free beginner soloist handbook that I've put together. It's packed with all sorts of scales and arpeggios and reference materials so that you have it all in one place. The link is in the description below. The blues scale is essentially a minor pentatonic scale with an added blue note, which introduces tension into the scale. It's the kind of tension that we've come to recognize in blues playing so much that even if you don't know exactly what you're hearing, you know that it's that blues sound. The blues scale comes from adding a note to the standard minor pentatonic scale, and that note that we'll be adding is known as the flat 5. Now, the standard minor pentatonic scale consists of the first, flat third, the fourth, the fifth, and the flat 7. It's a 5-note scale, hence the name pentatonic, which means 5-tone. When we add this particular 6th note to it, it will become a hexatonic scale, and that's just a cool name for a scale, right? The standard blues scale formula consists of the following intervals: the first, the flat third, the fourth, the flat 5th, that's the new note, the 5th, and the flat 7. The flatted 5th, also known as the blue note, is what gives the scale its characteristic bluesy sound. And it sounds like this all together. The first, the flat third, the fourth, the flatted 5th, the 5th, the flat 7, and that's it. And then it just starts over on the octave. Let's continue it forward. We'll add the flat 5 right there, or the blue note. Here's the whole thing together. Now I just ended it on the A right there to give it a sense of resolution. You don't have to do that, but that's the entire scale shape. Now, you wouldn't ever want to sit or stay on the blue note for too long because it's a note of tension. It's not a note of resolution where you want to end a phrase, for example. The blues scale is incredibly versatile, allowing guitarists to improvise over a variety of chord progressions. In a typical 12-bar blues progression, the scale can be played over all 3 chords, the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord, making it a very reliable choice for soloing. This blending of minor and major elements is what gives the blues solos their identity and makes it very distinguishable from other scale shapes people tend to use to solo. For example, in an A major blues, the 1 chord would be A7. That's a major chord, but we can use the A blues scale over it, which is minor, and it will sound great. Now, an A7 does have a minor 7 already in there, but it also has a major third right here. So that's where some of that tension will arise. And in fact, the minor blues scale will work over the 4 chord, which in this case will be D7, and the 5 chord, which is E7. Let's give this a shot. As you can see, I used the standard A minor pentatonic box shape, but I added the blue note, turned it into the blues scale, and it worked perfectly over that A7, D7, E7 chord progression. Now, this is a great way to get accustomed to using the blue note and experimenting with how it sounds. That works really well. You could also do the same thing with the diagonal minor pentatonic. Now, if you're not familiar with the diagonal minor pentatonic blues scale, let's take a moment to show how that shape works. So the diagonal minor pentatonic is a shape that we're going to look at with just 5 notes at one time. Now, of course, the pentatonic scale is 5 notes, but in this shape, we're only going to look at 2 strings at a time. We're going to begin on the 6th string, and we'll keep it in A to keep everything consistent. 6th string on the 3rd fret, and then we go to the 5th fret of this 6th string. Those are our first 2 notes, and our second note of the shape is going to be the root. Then we go down below on the 5th string and we play 3, 5, and 7. So it is a 2-3 note pattern. 2 notes here, followed by 3 notes. And those are all the notes in your minor pentatonic scale. You don't need any more. But we can copy and paste that shape across the fretboard and gain more real estate, if you will. So we're going to go, now that we've taken it up to the 7th fret, we're going to go down below here on the 4th string and play our 2-note pattern again. Then on the 3rd string, the 3 notes. Once again, that's our 5-note pattern. So if I wanted to solo the whole time in just those notes right there, I could, because that is the minor pentatonic and this is my root. Again, since I'm copying and pasting, always the 2nd note of this shape is my minor pentatonic root. Now we're going to adjust for the tuning difference on the B string and play the exact same pattern. So 2, followed by 3. 2, 3. 2nd note of my pattern is my root again. Here's the whole thing. Now let's turn it into a blues scale. We're going to add the flat 5, and the cool thing about it is, now that you know the shape, we simply add the blue note right there. So let me play the whole thing. Or I can do it this way, as far as fingering goes. And it's going to occur in the same spot in all those other positions that we just played. So here's the blues scale all together. Now the diagonal minor pentatonic can seem like a really big scale shape if you play all 3 octaves. And I would never recommend practicing that way in your sessions. Let's just focus on 1 octave at a time, because you'll always be more musical when you limit what you're playing, so you can listen to the music better and be more intentional with the notes you choose. So now let's try the diagonal minor blues scale over a track. Now to master the blues scale on the guitar, you should practice different positions, sequences, and rhythmic variations with it to get accustomed to where the blue note sits in all of those shapes. Don't play the blues scale only over blues progressions. Try it over other types of music and see how it fits for you. It doesn't always work well, but you'll be surprised how often it actually sounds fantastic. Now, if you're interested in making your solos more melodic, there are some basic steps that you can take to do that, and I recently made a video about it. You can watch it next here.